beautiful.
Hello, lovers of the world. It has been a while. So this was one of the first videos I really wanted to make just to get it off my chest, so to speak. I'm sorry for disappearing for so long, so suddenly, but it had to be done. Although, to be fair, if you do follow me on Twitter or on my Instagram, you'll probably understand or know already why I took such a long break. But if you don't, I would just love to share with you what I was up to since my last video in July. In my last video, I talked about being overseas for a few weeks. I was specifically going to the Philippines, and it's been a long time since I went back. I was very, very excited, and being excited for the Philippines, I didn't necessarily want my channel to be put on the back burner, so to speak, because I had been on a very good streak of posting videos. I may not have been able to post, a video every week like I said I was going to, but I managed to at least get my monthly music reviews out, and I was really proud of myself for getting that far. July, 6 months is, I think, a feat for me. That was the longest time I was ever to produce a lot of videos in the time that I have started this channel. And because I had prepared for a video for the month of July while I was gone, I was able to fully immerse myself and savor and relish my vacation. I haven't been to the Philippines for 5 years prior to this year, and I was just really excited to see how much has changed, gain new experiences, new insights, and it was definitely everything I expected and more. It was better than I could dream of. I feel like I learned so much. I feel like I've changed just from going there and stuff. I even have this idea of making this video documenting my experiences and all the things I learned while I was on that trip. So, when I got back from the Philippines, I was like, yes, I'm motivated, I'm ambitious, let's get started. But actually, two things happened that stood in the way of me continuing my channel as I originally planned. First, my camera broke while I was in the Philippines. It was very heartbreaking for me because, one, I like that camera a lot. It was a very easy to use camera. I was devastated because I knew that when I get back to New Zealand, I have to find a new one that worked as well, and it was as easy to use, was as beginner friendly as that. And I didn't have, I think, money set aside for my camera breaking. I had broke the camera like 3 or 4 days into the trip, so I didn't even get to use the camera as often as I liked. So that was a huge bummer for me. I had to every time we were on the move, I would look at it and I'd be like, oh, I'm so annoyed that I can't use it, because that's the reason why I brought it with me, right? I mean, obviously I may do with my phone, but it's not the same. And yeah, for the longest time, I wasn't able to replace it. And of course, I could have definitely used my phone to, continue making videos, but I really don't like using my phone now that I had a camera. That's why I was so devastated, right? Because now that I had gone to use a proper camera for my videos, I did not want to go back to using this phone to do so. I wouldn't have been happy with the footage, and it's really a tedious task for me to do that. So that was one big thing to stand in the way of making videos, obviously. The second thing that stood in the way was that I actually started my master's program when I got back. I had known that I was going to start it before I left the Philippines. I had made a decision prior to leaving the country, and I even enrolled and made the necessary steps and everything. And I think even deep down, I understood that I wouldn't have been able to juggle everything. But it wasn't until I got back from the Philippines with my camera broken down and kind of thrown headfirst into my course that I realized, or rather it sunk in, that I absolutely could not continue juggling my job, my studies, my social life, and the channel. And in a way, I did use my broken camera as an excuse to not put effort into the channel, because it gave me a scapegoat almost to allow myself to dedicate my entire focus into the master's program, which is of course necessary. I mean, a master's program is very important. The master's program itself is quite short compared to, I think, other countries, or other universities. The one that my university offered, you were given 12 a semester, so about 13-ish weeks to write 20,000 words dissertation. To some of you, maybe that's not a lot of words, but to me, I was basically writing the longest thing I have ever written at that point. So of course it was going to be a task. And the entire semester, I really felt like my dissertation sat at the forefront of my mind at all times. Any moment that I wasn't writing, I was still in some way thinking about my dissertation. I had this like singular focus on writing that I have never experienced before in my academic career. That was fascinating to experience. It was the experience of writing my dissertation for my master's was way different, of course, to writing my dissertation last year, my honors dissertation. That one was 10,000 words and it spanned a full year. 2022, I did undergo a lot of growth, but it was different to the growth I experienced writing my dissertation in 2023. I was also trying to balance all of that with my job as a graduate teaching assistant at the university. And I am pretty devoted to being an educator in some way. I really tried my best to be the best teacher that I could be to my students. In a way, I do believe that I have the capabilities to continue the channel, that I could have balanced my work and my studies and the channel at the same time, but I would have had to sacrifice my social life for that. And that was just not something I was willing to do. I mean, to be fair, there's only so much that you can do in a day without running yourself to the ground. And I promised myself in the beginning of my YouTube channel that I would never let the YouTube channel get in the way of me living my life to the fullest. Like, I would never sacrifice, a few hours of hanging out with my friends to editing a video just to post it and produce it and stuff. I was never gonna do that. And to be fair, 2023 was very eventful for me. Like, I was taken aback by the sheer amount of things I had done in a year. But I guess that's what everybody says at the end of the year, because time moves so fast and you do so much in so little time. I went to 11 concerts this year, which is amazing. And it was a goal or an ambition I had in the beginning of the year. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be so amazing if I managed to go to a concert every month? And I was nearly there. I went overseas 3 times. I went to Brisbane in Australia in February, and then we went to the Philippines, of course, in June, July. And then I went to Australia again, but this time to Canberra. And all these trips, 2 of those, the Philippines and the Canberra trip, I didn't even foresee in the beginning of the year. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, damn, what else could possibly happen? What could be lurking around the corner that I have no idea about. I attended and presented at my first conference in July in Dunedin, and then I attended another in Canberra, and then I presented at another. And to me, that's amazing, because I really feel like my academic career is advancing and it's becoming more real and tangible. I've always wanted to, be a scholar, a researcher. I wanted to stay in academia, become an educator, and do something with my studies. So to me, it felt like a dream come true, and I can scarcely believe that I was so privileged and lucky enough to be able to go to these events, and that I had all the support from my supervisors. I made new friends, but also I had to say goodbye to some old ones for one reason or the other. I made a fool of myself countless of times, but to give credit where credit is due, I gave everything I had to everything and everybody, as I always promised myself I would do. In 2024, there is a lot of uncertainty for me. I'm currently unemployed. I had undergone some heartache in November and December that I'm seriously only just bouncing back from. And really, the only thing I'm sure of is that in 2024, I will be starting my PhD. And that elicits both excitement and fear at the same time, as all great new chapters often do. And that will definitely affect how this channel will become in the new year. I have no particular goals or ambitions for this channel yet, aside from obviously maintaining it as a place and a space for me to talk about everything that I love. I already have a lot of projects in mind, some of which I was really keen on starting while I was still doing my dissertation. And some, of course, were projects that I had to put on the back burner when I had too much on my plate. As always, I still plan on making things I want and will be proud of. And I hope along the way you will find something that you like and that you can resonate with. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll be back very soon with a video. I'm currently working on something right now. And so I hope you guys like that. If you want to follow me on my other social media, all of that will be in the description alongside my Patreon if you want to support me financially. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my work. And if you liked this video, you can give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I think that's all I really want to say. Now time to edit this and post my first video in so long. I don't know. Bye-bye. In February, and then I went to... Oh, God. Yes?